Hi, I'm Cristina Smith, creator, along with my brother, puzzle master Rick Smith, of the Yoga for the Brain series of profound philosophy and super duper fun puzzle books. We are celebrating the release of the fifth book in the series, Inspired Wisdom Word Search Yoga for the Brain, which features 60 contributing authors. How are we celebrating? Well, we're interviewing them and having a nice conversation with them and to discover what some of their wisdom is. Today, we are wonderfully blessed to have with us the author of puzzle number 46, Connection, Teresa Helgeson. Hi, Teresa. Please
Hi,
introduce
Christine.
us. Please introduce yourself and your friends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Helgeson, and you're hearing the music of my friend Pixie, who is the plant in front of me here that you're listening to play the music. I am, well, I have many titles that people give me, but I travel around the country doing sound baths. I have focused more on sound healing now, and I also have changed my Reiki practice and incorporating plant music therapy in with my Reiki practice. And so plant music has become part of my sound healing events that I do.
Wow. And so plant music therapy, what is that?
Well, about 13 years ago, I was introduced to a technology developed in Italy where people wanted to figure out how nature can communicate better with us and we communicate better with nature. So they took modern day biofeedback technology and adapted it to measure the electrical resistance of vegetable tissue. So in essence, it takes, if you connected the equipment to a human, it wouldn't work, but if you connect it to any kind of plant life, it would work. And so what happens is you have an electrode that's connected to a leaf. She doesn't like me messing with her.
Uh-oh.
And then you have a grounding wire that goes into the soil. And between the electrode on the leaf and the grounding wire, it picks up a complete energetic frequency that the plant is emitting and then translates that signal into sound using a synthesizer. So in essence, the plant becomes a musician by manipulating the sound that is coming from the translation of the frequency.
Wow. That's amazing. And I know you've been working with this for years and you've done a lot of research and found that the plant music really can help people, right?
Yeah, that's where the plant music therapy comes into play. Many years ago, I had suffered from insomnia, and probably 2.5 weeks into insomnia and only getting maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep a night. We had Pixie playing in her room, and we would always at that time have her play at night because plants play better under the moon when they're not
Oh, wow.
going through photosynthesis, because then they have more energy. And so we would have her play in her room at night. And I remember one night walking in her room, hearing her music and laying down on the floor. And I just remember thinking, gosh, Pixie, I wish you could help me sleep. And I woke up 12 hours later on the floor.
Wow.
And I went, wow, what was that all about? How did that happen? And it kind of got my curiosity going. And then a few days later, was working with a Reiki client, and I happened to have Pixie in the room playing music. And I saw all this light and this energy floating from Pixie over into my client. And I went, okay, there's something here I need to research. So that kind of started the research journey into plant music therapy.
Well, and you've done, standard scientific, qualitative, quantitative research on this. This isn't just something that you made up. You've followed procedures to gather all of your data, right?
Yep, I have. And there's lots of single case studies that I've done. I've collected lots of data. I've worked with a lab called SciTech Labs out of Encinitas, California, and we have discovered some phenomenal things from that research. So yes, the next step for me is to do larger research studies so that we can duplicate these many times over in multiple cases at one time, as opposed to multiple cases individually.
Wow. Well, and I know Pixie is so amazing and she works with so many people. And you may think this is really totally weird to have a plant playing music while we're talking, but your puzzle really kind of talks about how connection is so important for us. Can you talk a little bit about how we connect and why it's important?
Yes. When you invited me to be a part of this book, which has been an honor for Pixie and I both. I knew that the message needed to come from the plants, because I have become a plant messenger, or a plant communicator, as some people call it. And, you know, there's many messages that comes from nature, and nature provides many examples for us to better live our lives and to learn how to be happy. And so I sat down with Pixie and meditated with her, and actually I channeled the message from her, that the first message that everyone needed to hear about was connection, because we are living in a world where we are becoming more and more disconnected as we get into this fast-paced world with different devices that are closing us off from nature and each other in certain ways. You know, you go into a restaurant now and you see the whole family on their phones or their tablet, and they're not communicating, and so there's a little bit of a disconnection that's taking place. And so Pixie wanted to share the first message of connection, and how we are all deeply connected. You know, nature is one of the biggest ways that we connect, because our whole life depends on nature. And if we get our air and our food and our medicine and many other things from plants and from Mother Earth. And if it wasn't for our connection to Mother Earth, we wouldn't even be alive. But then also our animals and our domesticated beasts are here. They provide us with tremendous connection and healing when we need it. You know, they show us unconditional love. And so when we get disconnected as a species, it causes division, and that does not help us to be happy, does not help us to create the kind of world that we want. And so connection was really important for Pixie to make sure that in this first message that we share the importance of connection and how our whole livelihood thrives and depends upon it.
Well, Pixie, would you like to play some music, especially for everyone listening, about connection? Thank you, Pixie. Really appreciate that.
She stopped right at the right time, right?
It was her solo.
Right?
So Teresa, what kind of puzzles do you like to do?
You know, I love word search puzzles, and I've done word search puzzles since I was a little girl. So when I found out that you were creating this whole series of word search puzzles and called it Yoga for the Brain, I've been very intrigued in following all of your books. So it's been an honor to be a part of this one.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you, Pixie. And thank you to everyone. Be sure and connect with nature, with everyone and all the earth. However you can feel connection, come from your heart and just go connect, right? Move out of whatever isolation you may feel, because no matter what your life is and however you feel in your life, there's always a way to connect, and there's always some aspect of life on planet Earth to connect with outside of yourself.
Yes, yes.
So you can pick up your copy of Inspired Wisdom Word Search Yoga for the Brain at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, target.com, at independent bookstores everywhere. And thanks so much. Bye, Pixie.
Bye, Cristina. Thank you.